What's up, y'all, and welcome to my NXT No Mercy review. Bakersfield, California, as of this recording. Wake up, it's the first of the month, but September the 30th last night. I gotta say, very good pay-per-view that NXT had going on. I really did enjoy it. A lot of big matches on this show tonight, and let's get right into it. Now, I did miss the pre-show, so I don't really know what happened. I just know Blair Davenport beat Kalani Jordan. I know they had a few going on with Dana Brooke before they end up releasing her, because they did kind of have Dana Brooke as Kalani Jordan's, what did they have? Like her mentor and whatnot, and I think she was going to go turn heel on her, but it ended up not happening. I don't know if that was still a feud or whatnot, but like I said, Dana Brooke ended up getting released, so it just ended up having Davenport and Kalani Jordan here. Like I said, Davenport won. I didn't see the match, so that's all I can really go off of that. But one thing I do want to say in the actual beginning of this show was the cold open to No Mercy, which NXT actually used the NXT No Mercy video game from the Nintendo 64. And listen, if anybody's played WWF No Mercy back then, hell of a game. I gotta say, some would still say was the greatest wrestling game of all time. I've heard that for a long time now. But the cool thing about the intro is how, they made everybody, like, the N64 models, even, like, classic people that were part of NXT at one point, like Kevin Owens or Tommaso Ciampa or Finn Balor or Becky Lynch in their original NXT attire. So I thought that was a nice touch right there. So, yes, it's an old game, but they gave it, like, a modern twist of the intro of the game and adding the character models and stuff. So that was a good thing to actually take advantage of, No Mercy, from actually using the video game. So I thought that was pretty cool. But we did kick off this show with Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin. For some reason, Braun Breaker came out with a giant dog head. He almost looked like Mantar in a way. And for some reason, Baron Corbin wants to be like discount version of Biker Undertaker or something? Is he trying to be the American Badass now or something? I don't know, because his whole thing they keep calling the burning ships and whatnot, and I'm still trying to understand what that means. But I just kind of found it funny, he came out looking like Undertaker, riding around the ring. So like, is he a biker now? Like, what's up with that? But the minute he got off the bike, Breaker ended up doing a big dive, like a big flip dive to the outside of the ring, and they start brawling and security everywhere then. One thing to say about this match, this is a heel versus heel, but the people are actually on Corbin's side, and even I was sitting there wondering, like, let's go Corbin chant. I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird to see, but I thought it was quite interesting. I thought this was a hard-hitting brawl. Yeah, I know we had a table that did not break and whatnot at one point, because I think Breaker tried to put Corbin through it, but it did not work. But I know Corbin ended up putting him through the table, and then the guy just literally no-sold it like Undertaker and sat up. Then it didn't hit Corbin with a spear. He put down the straps. Then he was getting ready, I guess, to go for Steiner Recliner or the Power Slam and whatnot. But next thing you know, Robert Stone showed up out of nowhere, jumped off the top rope. Breaker caught him, threw him into security, and Corbin hit the end of days and won. I was kind of surprised Corbin actually won here, but they did protect Breaker by having, Stone come out there, given that they took out Von Wagner and whatnot. But I thought it was a pretty good brawl. The crowd did love this match. They were hot for it, and whatnot. Corbin, I guess you could say, needs to win since they've repackaged him and God knows whatever gimmick we're on at this point. But I'm still trying to stand the burning ships thing, but they've been trying to make him a big deal again and whatnot. I know Breaker's had a lot of losses lately. I'm surprised they haven't actually moved him up to the main roster yet. I am actually surprised at that. Maybe they still want to see how he can do as a heel, which seems to be going out pretty well, in my opinion. But I don't know. Time will tell whenever they move him up to the main roster, because I thought he would have been gone at this point. But Corbin did get the win, though. So I thought it was a pretty good match that kicked off the show. Next was the NXT North American title on the line. Dominic Mysterio versus Trick Williams. Dragon Lee was a special guest referee. I have to say, Dragon Lee has been on TV literally all week, I should say, on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. You could tell they like Dragon Lee a lot. Like, come on, they even had him involved on SmackDown with Rey Mysterio. Well, he's already kind of been involved with Rey Mysterio on NXT, but, going to be facing Theory next week on SmackDown. So, Yeah, Dragon Lee's been all over the place lately. Now, this match actually was supposed to be Dominic versus Mustafa Ali until they released them last week, and I'm getting to that in a second. But to say about the match itself, it was a pretty good match. It was a lot of ref bumps involved, I will say that. So obviously it was going to be shenanigans, just no Judgment Day really involved at this time. People do like Trick Williams. I think Trick Williams has gotten better. Obviously he's really great on the mic. People's getting along to that, whoop that trick thing when he comes out with the theme song and whatnot. But we've had at least like almost 2 to 3 rep bumps because Dragon Lee goes down, the guy's basically dead. And then we had another referee come out, but then he ends up getting kicked and he's down too. Dominic, went for the frog splash and whatnot, but, Trick dodged it. He got the pin. He tried to get Dragon Lee up and wake him up. Dominic tried to hit him with the title. Trick ended up hitting like his high knee and whatnot. Like high running knee, but even though it looked like he really didn't miss it, you can kind of clearly see it on camera. But Trick did hit it, and Dragon Lee hit the 3, and it was over. So Trick Williams is now the new North American champion. I was actually kind of surprised by that. I actually thought it was going to be a screwy finish with all these ref bumps. You could kind of tell it was coming in a way. I almost expected Judgment Day to come out and get involved and, screw Trick Williams out of the title. But no, it didn't happen. And it was after 1. He only did like 1 knee strike, and that was it. So I was somewhat kind of surprised in a way that Trick Williams actually won. I do wonder if Mustafa Ali, I don't know if he would have ever won it anyways, but, I said it was a good match, but let's remember, Trick Williams was not really supposed to be in this position. This was a last-minute thing, okay? Mustafa Ali ended up getting released, some would say even for the better and whatnot for Trick Williams, given that. And then again, I don't know how many people was really over with Mustafa Ali anyway, so, I've already said what I've had to say about him in that release video I put out, so I'm not really going to try to, reiterate things, but you already know how I feel about that, and whatnot. But, Trick, like I said, Trick, they do like Trick a lot. So I was actually kind of surprised he won the title right here. So last minute thing, but he did win. So a pretty good match besides all the ref bumps. I know they had Joe Gacy basically saying the schism is over and Ava needs to go find her own path. Next was a fatal 4-way for the NXT Tag Team titles. Tony D'Angelo and Stax versus the Creed Brothers versus Humberto and Garza, who look like a discount version of the Wolves. It almost looks like I'm trying to watch Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards out there. Why do they have the claws? I don't know. And Out the Mud, Bronco Nima and Lucian Price with Reginald there, which, by the way, these guys look like some GTA NPC ass niggas, even having what did they come out with? Like bikes, lowrider bikes and stuff. And the graphics are like Grand Theft Auto and stuff. Like my friend Steven said it best. Like they look like the Hodge twins, and I wonder like how does Reggie really even fit into all this? I saw the clip of them shooting dice in the alley with some other people, and even I'm sitting there like, where are we going with this? Because apparently somebody tried to say, I guess what, Reggie was a Crip at one point or something. So it adds credit. I'm like, does it add credibility? Like, I don't know. That's just kind of funny to me. Like, you sure? Like, okay, but I look at these guys. They just look like some GTA NPC dudes. All right, big guys. Don't get me wrong, but y'all just like some basic GTA San Andreas niggas. That's kind of it. To what I've seen, and that bad. I know they're new, but I look at this whole Fatal 4-Way. It was just chaotic. It was a chaotic, hectic match. It's going to be a lot of spots being all over the place. I know Tony D'Angelo got taken out throughout the match, which apparently he was injured, but he came back out fighting and helping Stax basically get the win. I know they pinned one of the GTA guys and won the match when they hit their finisher. So I'm not going to try to name every spot through all this. The crowd did like it. Obviously, it was a lot of chaotic stuff, and, them even doing like the suplex off the 4 corners of the top rope. Everybody was going on with, so you could probably sit there and call it a spot fest and whatnot. But it was what it was. I'm not surprised that Tony D'Angelo and Stax still retained though. So not surprised by that. But the only story was that Tony came back and he saved the day. The whole match though, just chaotic stuff. Fatal 4-Way. Was going to be a lot going on. So that's much I really have to say about this match, okay? Because other than that, I could just probably make jokes about the new Wolves right there or the GTA guys. But That's all I got to say about that match. We also had another Brian Pillman Jr. Promo video, which we can all tell that's him because he's sitting there watching like an old TV, and it's like showing stuff like newscasts, I guess, from the 80s or the Bengals or WCW Saturday Night with JR on commentary. And you could tell it's Pillman Jr. He's got that, Bengals shirt on and the mullet and whatnot. So basically, it's Brian Pillman Jr. Hopefully he has a better spot here than he did in AEW. We all know he's been signed to NXT for a good minute now, so it looks like he's going to be finally debuting soon. So hopefully Pillman Jr. does good on NXT. So I do have a feeling he'll have a better chance here once again than he had on AEW. Next was the NXT Heritage Cup. Noam Dar versus Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne had Tyler Bate with him. Noam Dar with all the, whatever the four, what is it, the four, what do they call it, the metaphor or something like that? Listen, basically it's a round style match. Like, if you've seen these matches before, it wasn't bad. I think it was pretty good. I know some would get tired of the rounds or the time limits and whatnot to these matches, I'm trying to name this right, to the Heritage Cup, because even took me a minute, because it goes 6 rounds, okay? That's all I can really say. But I thought this was a very good match, though, because Pete Dunne did win that, Global Heritage Invitational. And good to see him back on NXT, because it actually feels like Pete Dunne again. I've never really called him Butch that much, but he felt like Pete Dunne in prime form right here on this show. But throughout this match, I know it was time limits, and, Noam Dar got the first win, and then Pete Dunne did, the bitter end and stuff. But then in the final round, as the time's starting to run out, Gallus comes out and attack, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, basically screwing Pete Dunne out of the Heritage Cup, which Noam Dar end up hitting the in his finisher and whatnot due to distraction and everything, and end up getting the win. So he did retain the Heritage Cup after that with the metaphor. I would say the metaphor has been somewhat entertaining. I know they dressed like characters from the Matrix not that long ago, so I thought that was kind of funny. Next, which I'm almost surprised this was not the main event, but given, I guess, name-wise, I kind of understood why the women were the main event due to Becky's name. But Carmelo Hayes and Ilja Dragunov for the NXT title, these guys went out there and killed it, okay? You could sit there and probably call this like a match of the year candidate right now. This was one hell of a match, I gotta say. Because, even the interest, Melo having all the jerseys, you think he's going to get Dragunov a second time, but these guys went to war out there with each other. You thought the first match was good back at the, Great American Bash? This one was even better. These guys, this is probably the closest you're going to get to NXT Black and Gold type of match right here. Like literally. Like, these guys just went nuts. Ilja, man, this dude was just bleeding out. Not bleeding to like a crimson mass, but you could see like the scrapes and like the blood coming from his forehead and whatnot. In that H-bomb looks deadly half the time too, which looks insane. I did like when Melo dodged the Torpedo Moscow and hit the code breaker, and Ilja just hit him with the H-bomb then. Even went for a top rope one after that, but he still kicked out. Both of them are trying to get up. After that, Melo at the final cut, which even though they tried to say it was like a cutter, even though it didn't look like a cutter, but he ended up getting him back in the ring. He went for the nothing but net then, the big leg drop from up top. But Ilja, like I said, Ilja just swatted him down, hit a giant H-bomb from the top rope one more time. This was the third one, and winning the NXT Championship. This was one hell of a match. Like I said, I'm not going to try to go through every spot here, but I enjoyed this. I really, really enjoyed this match. The crowd loved it. This was just insane. So, hell of a match right there. Does Melo move on to the main roster, or will he get a rematch? I probably see a rematch before the main roster, because I know they even had Trick and him kind of celebrate, because they both had titles, but now Melo doesn't have a title now since he lost. So, we'll see what happens. But, like I said, hell of a match. Definitely enjoyed it. Ilja, the new champion. I felt like he was going to win here, in a way, because I'm like, if he didn't win it last time and there was no interferences now, even I had to say he's most likely got to win. So, Dragunov, new NXT champion. What else did they play? After that, I know they announced the participants for the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. Some we already know that's there. Some are pretty new. So, I probably may check that out. Some of them don't look half that bad though. Gotta say that too. But right after that, we got to the main event. I know they had Tegan Knox watching from ringside because she will get a shot at the NXT Women's title on Raw this Monday. Sometimes I forget Tegan Knox is even still here. But in the main event, we did have Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch. Becky even having kind of like some of her old NXT, or NXT she called it, but you like her early run in NXT. But she basically came out with, because first she'd been wearing a fur coat and glasses the whole night, but she came out with a shopping cart full of weapons, which we've been seeing her walk around with it all night, and just having, what did they say? Her shirt had like names of Rollins and Bray Wyatt on it and stuff, but like I said, Tiffany's got brass knuckles. Gotta say, this was a war too. This was a brawl. It was a very good match. I know it's Extreme Rules and whatnot, but I did give Tiffany credit out there. I think people are really giving Tiffany Stratton a lot of credit nowadays and need to be probably watching out for her. She is not bad. And in this type of match here, this was some brutal stuff because these two end up already fighting up through the crowd. You know, Becky taking a chain, which I don't even know where she got the chain from. Some fan handed it to her and started hitting Tiffany with, which, you know, she was already bleeding from the forehead at that point. But they fought all the way back into the all the way back to the ring, and then, you know, they got a wrench out there. Like, it's a lot of weapons they had. So kendo sticks, trash cans, you know, chains, brass knuckles, tables, and then for some reason, I almost thought they were about to pull off thumbtacks, you know, pour that in the ring, but that would have looked really indie or AEW-ish, some would say. But then they end up taking out a whole bunch of Barbie dolls, which still kind of looks silly at the same time. You think, I've seen Legos being poured on the ground, but now they poured Barbie dolls, so I don't know how much that was going to hurt. And they started throwing, Becky's throwing Barbie dolls at her, and Tiffany's blocking with a trash can lid and whatnot. So I don't know why. This kind of got real goofy right there for a second, but you know, they end up having chairs going off of that then. Well, because one big move, I know they to the barricade. Tiffany do like a front dive onto like the announce chair announce chair, I should say, going through the not going through the way it went through the barricade. She even did like a handstand going through the barricade, even though I thought that looked kind of weak in my opinion. Just killed that bug, killed a fly, got rid of that, so that's why you heard that smack sound. But basically, I know they had got a table involved, which obviously get ready for an I am the table moment, Botchamania. Tiffany did a swanton, which looked great, by the way. Her swanton bomb looks really good, which the table did not break, and she ended up putting it in the ring, did another swanton bomb just for a 2 count then. Then we had a whole bunch of chairs in the ring. After that, she tried to go for her prettiest moonsault ever, but Becky got out the way. Becky, went for the manhandle slam, was out the rope, got it off the outside, got her back into the ring then, tried to roll up, did not work. Tiffany went for her moonsault again. Becky got out the way, ended up hitting the manhandle slam onto the chairs. I gotta say, her head hit the chairs pretty hard. Not gonna lie, that looked pretty brutal right there. But she hit the chairs right there, hit her on the chairs, and Becky still retained the NXT Women's Championship. And I know they had Tegan Knox basically looking on for that match on Monday, but a very good hardcore match with both of them. So I know why this was the main event, given it's Becky and everything. It's probably the highest main roster name you got on NXT, so I can understand that. I gotta say, Becky's been a lot of hardcore style matches right now. One with Tiffany and that cage match with Trish Stratus. So don't know how long she's gonna be NXT Women's Champion, but we'll see where this goes. They like to try calling it a third brand right now. I still don't see it as that, but the ratings have obviously been going up in NXT lately, and some would say it's even gotten to a better show than what it once was when this whole 2.0 thing started. I watch the show time to time, so it's gotten slightly better here and there, but the pay-per-views have not been bad, though. The pay-per-views have actually been, been pretty good lately, so I've definitely enjoyed those. But very, very good hardcore match. Overall, a very good show, though, I gotta say. So, one thing I know is that they do like Stratton, so obviously, I don't know if she's going to main roster now, but at some point, they do look at her as being a big star in the future also. But overall, though, Very good pay-per-view. I think the best match out of the entire night was Dragunov and Melo. And even in the end, I know that right after Melo was going to go celebrate with Trick, but Trick said it's all good right now. Said you fought like a champ, and said it was going to be cool before the show went off the air. But yeah, Melo and Dragunov was obviously the best match of the night. Then I would say the main event for the Extreme Rules match. I did like the other match. I kind of like that because it's only like 6 matches if I'm not mistaken. Breaker and Corbin wasn't that bad, and Trick winning the NXT North American title was pretty good. The Fatal 4-Way is the Fatal 4-Way, and I thought the Heritage Cup was pretty good too. But overall, a very good pay-per-view in general for NXT No Mercy. So I did enjoy this show. But other than that, that's all I really got to say. Comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. Hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. And we will probably be back later on tonight for an AEW Wrestle Dream review. So other than that, I'm out here. See y'all then. Peace out.